Hello everyone and welcome to another Fight Night Legends Top 3 Decks video. In this series, we're going to be following Fight Night Legends each and every single week. We look at the top performing decks, most popular, and decks to watch of the most recent Fight Night Legends. Before we get into the video, take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all of our Legends of Runeterra content. Check out the links in our description to find our social media pages. We've got a lot of folks working behind the scenes to keep the content flowing and to allow for our weekly Runeterra tournaments. Now, back to Fight Night. Fight Night Legends is a 2-deck no-ban format. This allows players to build a lineup with whatever they believe is the strongest deck without fear of their best deck getting banned. In this type of format, you may find players who will build a lineup around one of their decks where the second deck checks the weaknesses of the first, while other players may bring a more standard 2-solid deck lineup. This new patch has brought us a Fight Night like none we've ever seen. Fight Night Legends 12 was absolutely dominated by Lee Sin, with 6 out of the 8 players bringing him in their lineup. This week, third place was taken by Christmas Time, who brought Mono Lee and War Mother's Control. Coming in a second, we have Chelu with an impressive showing in his first Fight Night performance. Chelu decided to bring Pirate Aggro and They Who Endure. Taking down the event for his second Fight Night victory is our very own scriptwriter, Sero. His lineup of Mono Lee and Pirate Aggro earned him his second victory and a chance to return next week along with Chelu. Now,
the Dragon Spirit awakens.
Kicking off our top 3 decks of the week is Zed Lee Sin. The archetype was brought by 3 players and finished in 4th place in the hands of Glop. Lee Sin was far and away the most popular archetype of the week, split into 2 different versions, Mono Lee and Zed Lee. By including Zed, the archetype ends up having 2 separate champions that can be built up into an unstoppable win condition. Between the 2 versions, Zed Lee is undeniably the more aggressive variant. The deck has access to Claws of the Dragon and Mountain Goat, giving it good tools to fight for the board and get aggressive. One of the greatest reasons for the archetype to play Zed is his incredible synergy with Sonic Wave, which not only levels up Lee Sin at a low cost of 3 mana and 1 card, but also turns Zed into a 1v1 machine. Zed is able to maintain the late game closing potential that Lee Sin offers while maintaining aggression in the early turns to keep its opponents off balance. However, by building itself more aggressively, the deck does sacrifice some of its control tools. Often this comes in the form of less copies of Deny or cutting Concussive Palm completely. While Zed Lee certainly was a popular pick of the week, it was not able to shine in the same ways that other decks were. Taking the title of the second best deck of the event is Pirate Aggro, a highly aggressive Noxus Bilgewater deck that can quickly get into the board with threatening low-cost units. The deck has a strong curve up to turn 5 and will often play a copy or 2 of Captain Farron, which will end the game if it manages to go that long. Pirate Aggro has excellent turn 1s, 3s, and 5s, which it can leverage to apply heavy damage, then close the game out by unloading heavy amounts of burn directly to the enemy Nexus. Pirate Aggro is one of the most consistent aggressive decks in today's Runeterra format. Few decks in the game can keep pace with it on the board, and the decks that can match it on the board usually struggle to race the deck's abundance of burn. Though the deck is filled with mostly low-cost units, it does have the ability to fight a somewhat long game due to its 5-drops. Jack the Winner will apply steady pressure until he's answered, as well as allow you to play a pass game so long as he is on the board. Gangplank, on the other hand, is a devastating attacker, even into a reasonably bulky unit due to his level up effect. Pirate Aggro seems to currently be the strongest way to play Noxus Bilgewater. It is significantly faster than its Swain TF predecessor, but still maintains access to some of the archetype's most powerful cards. Swain TF has been a dominant force in Fight Nights for weeks, but seems to have been dethroned by its leaner, meaner, more aggressive cousin. We here at Giant Slayer expect Pirate Aggro to be a dominant force of Fight Night, at least until we see the format get more changes. Taking the title as the most powerful deck of the week, we have Mono Lee Sin. The deck not only took down first place in the hands of Sero, but Christmas Time also took it to a 3rd place finish. The archetype is much like the Zed build of Lee Sin, but it's designed completely around the Lee Sin kill. The archetype has an abundance of cheap spells that cycle, as well as access to deep meditation, which allows it to keep its hands filled with tools throughout the game. Most builds of Mono Lee will opt to play full sets of Deny, Bastion, and Concussive Palm, giving it access to all the best spells that allow the caster to control the pace of the game. The archetype excels at rapidly leveling up its Lee Sin, as well as keeping him safe. Once Lee is established, the goal becomes to safely equip him with the Zenith Blade. If Lee is leveled up with the Zenith Blade equipped, His Dragon's Rage will deal massive damage to the enemy Nexus and remove the challenge target from the board, allowing Lee Sin to further overwhelm for lethal damage. A 10 power Lee with a Zenith Blade will threaten to one-shot the opponent, and with Deny and Bastion backup, the combo becomes incredibly difficult to interrupt. This is the first fight night in quite some time where the format has been so heavily dominated by specific archetypes. Lee Sin combo and Pirates were far and away the most powerful decks of the event, and rightfully so. The archetypes possess consistent game plans and are incredibly efficient at fulfilling them. It is likely that this isn't the last we'll see of the archetypes in future weeks, given their dominant performance last Friday. Will Lee Sin remain dominant, or will some deck step up to take his place? Let us know in the comments section what you think will be the best deck moving forward. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with more Giant Slayer TV content.